when Karen banned my nephew from the community pool. I did not even know her name yet. 6 months later, I knew her bank account numbers and her entire history of corruption. That transformation from clueless neighbor to forensic investigator happened for one critical reason. Karen Mitchell made a fatal mistake by picking a fight with the wrong person. She targeted a retired construction lawyer with 20 years unraveling major fraud schemes. I had absolutely nothing left to lose after tragically losing my beloved wife. At 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, I stood in my doorway wearing my bathrobe. Steam rose gently from my hot coffee mug as I faced two confused police officers. One very smug woman in tennis whites stood beside them, looking triumphant. The smell of fresh coffee mixed with Karen's overwhelming vanilla perfume that morning. It should have been my first warning that this was no longer about pool rules. What would you do if your HOA Karen weaponized the police against you unfairly? Drop your worst HOA horror story in the comments below for everyone to read. Before we dive deeper into this tale, where are you watching from right now? I am curious how many people are dealing with their own neighborhood tyrants currently. My name is Dave Martinez, and 8 months ago I thought I found paradise. Willowbrook Estates featured 127 pristine homes built between 2019 and 2021. It included a gorgeous $400,000 community pool that sparkled beautifully in morning sun. I paid a premium price for the corner lot with an amazing pool view. My house cost $750,000 when comparable ones sold for only $650,000. It seemed worth every single penny at the time, especially after my loss. I had watched my wife Sarah battle cancer courageously for 3 long years. Sarah passed away last October, leaving me heartbroken and completely alone. Our shared house of 22 years felt like a painful museum of memories. I packed up everything and moved to Willowbrook Estates to start fresh. I retired from construction law after 2 decades fighting contractor fraud cases. I figured I finally deserved some well-earned peace and quiet in retirement. Every morning I sat in my kitchen enjoying coffee and the beautiful view. I watched sunrise reflect off the pool's calm surface in golden hues. Early lap swimmers cut through the water with smooth rhythmic strokes. It felt like peaceful meditation in motion, just as my counselor recommended. That's exactly when I first noticed her presence around the community pool. Karen Mitchell was 48, a real estate agent and HOA vice president. She owned the model home that anchored our small upscale community. She always wore designer athleisure outfits with perfectly maintained blonde highlights. She carried that damn binder everywhere, like running a major corporation. In reality, she managed a simple suburban homeowners association board. She was married to City Councilman Brad Mitchell with powerful connections. She knew all the right people and never let anyone forget it. The first few months passed blissfully without any Karen interference. I kept entirely to myself and followed every single rule perfectly. Slowly, I started feeling somewhat human again after my deep grief. Then summer arrived warmly, bringing my nephew Miguel to stay with me. Miguel is 16, my brother's smart kid from Phoenix, Arizona. He is sharp as a whip and heading to engineering school soon. He is the closest thing to a son I will ever have now. Sarah and I never had children due to busy careers and her illness. Miguel spent his summer with me working at a local hardware store. He kept his old uncle company and helped me through lonely days. The trouble began innocently on a hot Tuesday afternoon in June. Miguel invited 2 polite friends from his summer job for pool time. They were nice kids who said thank you, Mr. Martinez, without prompting. We are talking 90 minutes of normal teenage laughter and splashing. That's when Karen suddenly appeared poolside, holding her infamous clipboard. She looked like some kind of strict HOA Grim Reaper approaching us. Chlorine smell mixed with her strong vanilla perfume creating nausea. She announced loudly for the entire pool area to clearly hear, "I need to see official guest passes for these young men immediately." I had lived there 8 months and never heard of guest passes. "They are family," I explained calmly, keeping my voice completely level. "This is my nephew Miguel and his 2 friends from work." Karen's smile was sharp enough to cut glass as she responded, "Rules are rules, Mr. Martinez. According to strict HOA bylaws, excessive guest usage means more than 2 guests per week. It requires pre-registration and approved official guest passes always." I offered to register the boys as extended family visitors reasonably, but Karen was not interested in any reasonable solutions whatsoever. "No exceptions allowed," she declared while consulting her sacred clipboard. Pool privileges are immediately suspended for Lot 47 pending full review. Pool chairs creaked as residents suddenly became fascinated with phones. A musty smell of fear hung heavily in the humid air. Nobody wanted to become Karen's next unfortunate target that day. Miguel and friends quietly gathered towels, feeling embarrassed and confused. That night, Karen posted an official notice on community bulletin board. It stated, "Pool privileges suspended for Lot 47 pending compliance review." She made an announcement at weekly HOA meeting with theatrical disappointment. She emphasized my supposed failure to follow established protocols clearly. Sitting in basement community center, surrounded by nervous neighbors, old coffee smell filled the room as I realized the truth. This was not really about simple pool rules at all. This was about power, control, and putting newcomers in place. Karen had just made her very first serious mistake here. She picked a fight with someone experienced dealing with bullies. I'd spent 20 years handling people hiding behind fine print. It was time to dust off some old professional skills. Karen wasted no time escalating the situation dramatically. 3 days after the pool incident, certified letter arrived in mailbox. She scheduled a compliance hearing with HOA board on short notice. She gave me exactly 48 hours to prepare adequately. The hearing was set for Thursday evening at 7:00 p.m. sharp. Thursday happened to be Sarah's birthday, a difficult day. I planned to visit her grave with sunflowers she loved. I wanted quiet time talking about Miguel and his bright future. The letter cited multiple violations I supposedly committed recently. Trash cans allegedly visible from street, but they were not. Lawn height exceeding 3.5 inches, but I measured 3.2 exactly. Her manicured nails tapped mahogany table, creating irritating rhythm. It matched her condescending and superior tone perfectly. Maybe Mr. Martinez struggles adjusting after his recent tragic loss. Perhaps learning new rules is overwhelming due to stress. The room went completely dead quiet and uncomfortable. Even her supporters looked visibly uneasy and awkward. Air conditioning unit cycling on was audible in distance. I gathered documents slowly and deliberately, without rush. Thank you all for your valuable time this evening. I will review community charter more thoroughly soon. We will be in touch regarding these important matters. The vote was for 2-2-2 uphold the pool ban decision. Jim Walsh and Maria Santos dissented courageously. But something important had shifted in the dynamics. Karen revealed her true colors for everyone to see. The board glimpsed what they were truly dealing with. That night, I opened laptop and started deep research. I had not done this since my last major fraud case. HOA formation documents, municipal filings, transaction history, everything public record, if you know exactly where to look. By 2 a.m., I found the very first important thread. Karen Mitchell Realty was exclusive sales agent during construction. Such arrangements usually come with significant incentives. It was time to discover exactly what those were. Karen's next move came much faster than I expected. Within 1 week, she organized Neighborhood Watch Patrol Group. 3 residents with clipboards and cameras documented deviations. People received violation notices for long-ignored minor issues. Basketball hoops visible through garage windows got citations. Garden gnomes exceeding to decoration limit caused problems. Christmas lights remaining up in July drew complaints, but I received special and constant attention from them. Daily drive-bys, multiple photographs of my property, printed warnings left under windshield wipers of visitors. Miguel joked Karen was stalking us both constantly, but I saw it wearing on the poor teenager heavily. A 16-year-old should not worry about Uncle Trouble. The harassment campaign affected the entire community too. Fear spread quickly like a contagious virus everywhere. Neighbors who waved before now avoided eye contact. They suddenly found phones fascinating during walks. The divide became clearly visible in neighborhood. Newer residents rallied behind Karen's strict standards. Original homeowners whispered concerns in grocery aisles. That's when Maria Santos approached me quietly. After one morning walk, she glanced around nervously. She is a small woman with steel spine and sharp mind. The kind of accountant spotting discrepancies from afar. "Dave, we need to talk privately about finances. There are things about this HOA that do not add up." While Karen played security guard with her patrols, I did what construction lawyers do best professionally. I followed the money trail carefully and methodically. I installed discrete security cameras around my property, perfectly legal in Texas, with proper placement. I began logging Karen's regular patrol schedule precisely. Every drive-by, photograph, intimidation tactic, time-stamped. Legal nugget: HOA requires written warnings before penalties. Karen's verbal harassment and immediate ban violated law. Takeaway: document everything because board members liable. I quietly connected with Jim Walsh and Maria Santos. I was not the first resident facing her leadership style. Jim shared stories of families moving away from harassment. Maria hinted at financial irregularities needing compilation. The changing pool incident happened on Friday afternoon. Miguel and friends waited for designated family hours. They enjoyed water quietly and completely by book. Karen appeared with clipboard and 2 patrol volunteers. She looked like HOA SWAT team ready for action. Exit the pool immediately, she announced across water. Lot 47 remains under ongoing pool privileges suspension. The boys complied without any argument or escalation. Miguel coached them well on avoiding conflicts. But Karen was not satisfied with simple compliance. She followed them to my house with entourage. Voices rose with each step toward my driveway. Half the neighborhood watched discreetly from windows. Karen entered full theatrical mode, gesturing wildly. She talked about certain types of people not understanding standards. My legal training kicked in at that exact moment. Instead of shouting match, I pulled phone and recorded. Karen, I said calmly, HOA must provide equal access. Cite the specific bylaw justifying ongoing suspension, please. She ranted on camera, ignoring my reasonable request. This is about people who fit community values or not. 3 neighbors emerged, disturbed by her tone clearly. Mrs. Chen shook head in obvious disgust across street. The Johnsons, young black couple, exchanged knowing looks. If you cannot control guests, maybe community, not right. I emailed recording to board with formal complaint. Professional, detailed, with timestamps and witness accounts. Emergency board meeting called for the following Tuesday. Karen's defense was predictable protection from outside influences. Vote on formal censure ended in 3-3 tie. Karen abstained, so no action was taken officially. But something important had shifted in board dynamics. After meeting, Maria slipped me manila envelope quietly. Financial documents to review construction versus amenity costs. That night I spread documents across dining table. I felt thrill of spotting inconsistencies that unravel cases. The numbers told a story Karen wanted hidden forever. Karen's next move was nuclear option with code enforcement. She filed formal complaint alleging multiple property violations, false accusations about unpermitted modifications and activity. Complaint filed Monday. Inspection scheduled for Friday. Friday was Miguel's high school graduation party day. I planned small celebration for 20 family members, aunts, uncles, cousins, coming from across Texas, to celebrate Miguel heading to engineering school proudly. Sarah would have loved seeing family gathered together. Karen knew about the party as whole neighborhood did. She timed inspection to coincide with family gathering. At 2 p.m. Miguel cutting graduation cake in yard. City code enforcement truck pulled into my driveway. Karen's car followed closely so she could watch. She expected violations found in front of family. Inspector Bob looked weathered and reluctant to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, party. Got complaint about modifications. 20 years construction law prepared me perfectly. I brought banker's box full of all documents, original plans, permits, certificates, occupancy letter. Here is every permit and report for this property. Feel free to compare construction to approved plans. Miguel started live streaming inspection on Instagram. Geist, some lady called code on uncle's party. Inspection lasted 2 full hours with thorough checks. Bob examined outlets, dimensions, plumbing, even attic HVAC. Karen hovered, suggesting places to look harder. Legal nugget: false complaints can make filer liable. Takeaway: frivolous complaints backfire on compliant properties. Neighbors gathered as Bob worked through checklist. Mrs. Chen brought lemonade. Johnsons helped clean decorations. Even Karen's supporters looked uncomfortable with spectacle. Miguel's livestream gained viewers rapidly with comments. This lady is crazy. Sue her. Comments poured in. Bob finished and announced no violations found. My house exceeded code requirements in every way. I ensured compliance knowing my background made target. Bob, embarrassed, approaching Karen with the results. Ma'am, this property is in perfect compliance actually. One of the better built houses I inspected this year. Karen argued publicly with inspector instead of accepting. You need to look harder. Check garage and pool equipment. There have to be violations somewhere, she insisted loudly. Livestream captured her unhinged behavior completely. Her demands and disappointment when scheme failed. Comment section exploded with shared HOA horror stories. During inspection, my trained eye noticed key discrepancies. Original plans showed differences with community amenities. Pool specs did not match what was actually built. Community center dimensions and landscaping budget inflated. Family celebration continued despite Karen's disruption efforts. Maria approached near grill where I flipped burgers. After this circus, you need remaining financial documents. There's smoking gun in construction contracts to see. That night, I reviewed Maria's latest document dump. What I found made my lawyer blood run cold. HOA billed $2,100,000 for amenities costing $1,400,000. $700,000 vanished, and Karen involved in transactions. Time to stop defense and launch full attack. Smoking gun buried in emails. Maria saved years. She handed printed chain between Karen and developer. Subject: revised community amenity pricing confidential. Original budget $2,100,000 for pool, center, playground. Actual invoices showed only $1,400,000 real costs. $700,000 gone with suspicious personal deposits. Karen received 400% above normal commission rates. Email discussed profit sharing for inflated budgets. Developers inflate costs and split profits with insiders. Takeaway: demand actual invoices before approving assessments. This was systematic fraud, bleeding community for years. Every resident overpaid through inflated HOA dues. Monthly contracts overpriced 30 to 40% with Karen kickbacks. Her rule enforcement prevented financial scrutiny. Harassment escalated because I could unravel scheme.